Hi. Legendary, super, hyper, ultra, ultimate, deluxe, perfect, amazing, shining god, master video game developer Janksonfire here. If you haven't watched the intro episode to this series, then go watch it because that serves as the intro to this video. Also, minor disclaimer, due to this being the first video in the series, this month's video has actually been in progress for about the past 3 months because I just decided to actually make this into a series a few weeks ago. So yeah, like and subscribe. So the first question for this journey that I have here is, where exactly do I start? To be honest, I started about a year ago when I spent like a week probably following a tutorial for Unity. Now, some people don't like Unity, which is acceptable and understandable because how easy it is to just asset flip with it, which if you don't know, asset flippers are people who just take assets and stuff right off the Unity asset store and then slap in some basic code for like movement and objectives and maybe combat. And then they use that to create a game with heavy air quotes and release it for like $2 and I don't know, make money, I guess. I don't know who would buy a game like that. I feel like asset flipped games tend to be pretty obvious. So yeah. But you know, Unity is generally the best, or from what I've seen, it's generally the best like legitimate starting point for aspiring game devs such as myself. Now, throwing that entire previous statement out the window, it was all completely unrelated because after that week-ish where I tried to follow the tutorial, I completely forgot about it and went back to being very unproductive in general. Again, this was like over a year ago, so I don't really remember much from it. And then after a while, I decided to sort of look at the whole game development thing again and see where the best, easiest place to start from would be. And with that, I settled on learning how to use Blender to its fullest potential. Back when I first started using Blender, I knew it was like a 3D modeling software in which you could like make 3D models and animate them and that stuff, but I now know that it can also be used for stuff like physics simulations and motion tracking, which doesn't really help me as far as I know, but it's interesting. So I settled with Blender. I don't remember exactly what I looked up on YouTube, probably something like Blender tutorial. And I think the first one that I watched was this one from 2017 with an extremely outdated version of Blender. There is an updated version for 2.9, but that wasn't uploaded when I began this. I also find it kind of strange that the first video has over 1 million views and the updated one has less than 10,000 as of writing this. Which means that either a lot less people want to learn Blender nowadays, or this guy is just fallen down from grace. Why is Mac calling me? Mac, I'm busy. Also, the links to all these videos will be in the description, and I'm probably going to make a playlist of all the video tutorials that I've followed after I finish making this. Anyways, in the video, the guy shows you how to make a chest, and I don't have any footage of me making that, because you know, it was way before I planned on recording any of this, so I didn't record it. And then I don't think I actually saved it either, so yeah. I'm pretty sure that video was actually a part of a playlist that I planned to watch that had like texturing and stuff later on. But then I forgot about it again, and there was a solid 6-month period that I just had Blender sitting in my taskbar, just chilling. Now, during the summer of these 6-ish months, I went to a few college tours, and I sort of realized, like, yeah, game development, I'm gonna do that. I should get started on that. And so I did. Once again, I went on YouTube and looked up Blender tutorial, and this time I found a different tutorial, one by a fine gentleman named Sebastian Log. As of writing this, I've gotten up to the run animation video, which is only the 5th video in the series, but there's been a lot of restarting and experimenting and various things on my end, so it's fine. I made the dude that he makes in the video like 4 times because every time it broke in some way that I didn't know how to fix, and I either figured it out and decided to restart anyways because I just broke too much trying to fix it, Or I couldn't figure out how to fix it and restarted because of it, and then figured out what was happening and how to fix it about 3 days later. So once I finished making the dude, I gave him bones, and then I made him walk, and then he ran. The animations probably took me no more than like an hour and a half, so it really wasn't that hard. Then I made it do this. Now, this Blender tutorial playlist by Sebastian Log is actually a part of another playlist by Brackies, which is an entire Unity tutorial, so I decided that I would take a break from Blender and see what I could do in Unity. So I watched this first video on movement and made this little pill dude move, and then I watched this video on interaction and made the little pill dude technically capable of interacting with objects, except it doesn't actually do anything, but it says it does, I think. I'm not actually 100% sure that I finished watching that video to the end as of writing this, but I think I did. I think it's supposed to, like, print out something in the console when you interact with something, but I don't know. I don't know if I did that. Now, as I mentioned before, I did some experimenting in Blender. I made a scythe and a battle axe, and I tried to use the texture paint mode on them, and I kind of understand it, but also not at all, so I guess I'll figure that out next month. I also installed this add-on that shows what you're doing in Blender on Discord so that I can subtly brag to all my friends about how successful and productive I'm being. And with that, I made an Among Us, and I thought it would be kind of funny, but I don't know, I spent way too long on it. I gave it a walk animation. I painted it red with the vertex paint mode. But anyways, the paint doesn't actually show up when I render it. I don't know why. It's probably some really obvious thing about vertex painting that I just haven't learned about yet, so I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. But jokes aside, I think I did pretty good on it for my first time actually using Blender to make something without following a video tutorial exactly. Obviously I had a reference image in the background, but as far as I've seen, that's pretty normal practice for even like very advanced Blender users. After I did that, I made this Fortnite water gun, and again, I think it actually turned out pretty well. I figured out a lot about like making details from it, like using the inset faces tool and then scaling it down to make the grooves in the pump thing here. I also discovered the bisect tool, which is it's like the knife tool and the loop cut tool, but like 1,000 times better. And that's what I've done so far. As I mentioned, I plan to upload these either monthly or bi-monthly, or month and a halfly. Or this will be the only one ever because I get mauled by a bear or hit by a truck or something. Who knows, really? Look, I'd say that if 2.5 months go by with no update, just assume that I got mauled by a bear and or truck and I am either dead or will make an update video as soon as I recover. This video was actually supposed to come out like last Wednesday, a few days after I uploaded the fucking Get Down meme. But at that point, I really wasn't happy with the script that I had and ended up getting very unmotivated until I realized I can just add more to the script. It's been very interesting doing things that will actually help my future career in my life for once. And it's also pretty cool because I'm being more productive than all of my friends as far as I know, and I have a massive ego, so just being better than all of my friends is truly a very motivating feeling. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and comment if you have tips or support or want to boost my ego or something. Hate is also completely welcome because I am motivated almost entirely by negative emotion and spite.
Next episode, what will our aspiring new game developer do next? Go further in depth with Blender? Learn Unity? Learn how to code? Who knows? Maybe he'll do an unorganized combination of all three and even make a shitty video about it. Catch us next month, maybe, on Legendary Super Hyper Ultra Ultimate Deluxe Perfect Amazing Shining God Master video game developer Janksonfire becomes a video game developer.